Hello everyone, it's Natasha from Treasure Books. In this video, we are turning leftover paper strips and scraps into a variety of charming mini books and booklets. I will demonstrate 11 easy and delightful techniques showcasing both the craft and practical uses for these mini wonders. This is a really fun and easy project with beautiful results. I made a total of 60 pieces in the last couple of days, and I'm going to show you how you can do the same. All right, let's begin. All right, we'll start off with idea number one, and this is the easiest and most straightforward idea, where you grab a few of your strips. I'm just going to randomly grab some over here. Here we go. You fold them in half and you have your little booklet, or you can fold them in half again and have an even smaller booklet. We'll come back to this in a moment. The idea for these here in particular is to make them something that you will use. So you can't use this to journal your day because it's too small. So what I did, I'm just going to show you. I have some goals. So this is pretty cool. You can write down your goals, goals, 2024 goals, for example. Read 52 books, I don't know, just an idea. So this is perfect. Tiny little booklet with perfect amount of space to write down your goals. You can have a little something like this. If I was rich, I would feed the homeless. I don't know. I have some fitness goals. These are all stickers that came out of random booklets that I have. Here's a bucket list, visit Africa, whatever, check out. It could be that course online that you saw. I have some more goals. I love the idea for using these as goals. There's things I love, activities to try. It really depends on what kind of stickers you have at home. We have wish list, dream travel list, rainy day ideas. This is another goals list, and take note, and a little encouragement one. Go for it. I'll write that book, whatever. Okay. And as you can see, the size, they're all different because all of your strips of paper are going to be different, and you might have booklets that have the exact same size paper, or you might have something like this where some of these strips are narrower than others. Okay. At this point, what I would do is trim the sides here so that you don't have, this obviously has to open up, this section here. So we're going to trim. Here we go, all trimmed to size, and I have a little booklet. And if you want, you can have a tiny little booklet. We'll get to that. I don't think I actually made small ones like this, but let's keep going. Okay, so at this point you want to bind, so you have to hold these together. There's a few different ways that you can do that. Most of them I've just sewn, so I take it straight to my sewing machine and just sew right through. Sometimes I don't get to do it right in the middle like I should, but it's fine and it works. There's just a few little stitches there. This one's perfect. So that's option number one, machine. Another option is to use your stapler. So you can pop one staple right there in the middle. And in the case if you're wondering, you can get long arm staples, or I should say a long arm stapler, but you also can use these home staples if you can open it up like this, staplers. So see how you can open it up? You can use that. So you just do this, but you want to have something soft underneath, and then you find your middle and then you staple. If your stapler doesn't open up all the way, then you can't do it unless you have one of these long arm staplers. And the third option here, which I only have one to show you, is to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, which might be a little bit difficult to do on tiny little booklets like this. But it doesn't have to be a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. You can just do 2 holes. And in fact, I'm going to do that on this one here. Here we go. I've poked 2 holes. And now I have a little bit of thread on my needle, and I'm just going to go from the inside out and then back in, and then I'm going to tie a knot here basically. So far we have covered all of the basics. Chop that off. And there's a little book bound, and then you can go ahead and maybe ink the edges and, you know, make it pretty, pop a sticker on there. For this one, I'm going to put, what have I got? This, going places. If they kind of stay open like this, I usually just do this to get it to behave and leave it under something heavy perhaps. Or what I've started doing is using one of these little, you know, those little clear elastics. Doesn't have to be clear, but these tiny little elastics, and just keep it close like that. And then perhaps add a little charm, and I'm going to call this one done and move on to idea number 2, which is a mini little handbag journal. So for this one, you will need your larger offcuts, so something a little bit thicker, perhaps something like this or something like this. I might do a combination and put all of these together. Nestle them all in together like this. And then I'm going to chop this off. Here we go. I'm going to make 2 holes just like that. I'm going to grab my thread. So this one is a little bit thicker because I need a thick knot on the inside. So I'm just going to make the holes just a little bit bigger. Pop one end through. I need this for my handle. I'm going to tie a knot. Perhaps I'll do a double knot. Well, all this will do, as long as the knot doesn't go through the hole. So that's pretty good. Next, I'm going to thread some beads on. I think that's going to be enough. And now this end needs to go through, just like so. Make it nice and tight. And tie a knot on the inside and bring it all the way up. Excellent. Cut the excess off. And at this point, you can go ahead and embellish. I want to add some type of a closure because it kind of stays open like this. Maybe I can incorporate a little buckle. I'm gonna do this off screen and come back and show you what I've done. And here we go. This is what I've done. Just a little bit of elastic lace here. I've sewn on the back, and this can be, you know, slipped on and off. And there's my little handbag. Alternatively, you can use bulldog clips like this. I've done bulldog clips on both of these. You can also use large paper clips or small paper clips, whatever you can think of to make a little closure. Okay, let's move on to idea number 3, which is little charms. And they can be a little bit bigger charms. It doesn't have to be tiny, but for this you would want to be using your little narrow strips of paper. So for example, I'm gonna grab whatever, and they can be tiny, tiny, tiny like this, you see? Perfect. Once that's all chopped off and it's made into a booklet, you want to mark up the top where you're going to poke a hole or punch a hole using whatever tool you have. Here we go, maybe ink some edges. Perhaps you can embellish with a little something. You might want to do this first and then punch a hole, but that's all right. I can go back in and make a hole. There we go. And next I'm going to attach a little jump ring, just like that. I've added a little sticker. And just to give you a quick idea on how you can use these in your journals, I would pop it on a paper clip like this. And then this is my journal in progress, still not bound, but just so you can see, here is a little charm hanging off a page there on the side. You can have other charms, you can have all sorts of stuff. You can hang them on spines, on tassels, and yeah, it's a cute little idea. And then in case you're wondering, like, what could you possibly write in this? The reason why I have this sticker on there is because I would use this as a gift idea little book. So you can write your, you know, for birthdays, Jack, you can get him, you can write down, I don't know, socks. Socks is probably not the best example, but you get what I mean. All right, we're ready to move on to idea number 4, which is ring-bound mini booklets. And the beauty with these is, of course, they're easy to make. You need single little sheets and it opens flat. So for this, I wouldn't use the tiny little, narrow little offcuts. I would use something like this. These are also offcuts, obviously. We're starting off the exact same way, folding it in half until you get to the size that you want. Perfect. Now I'm going to make that cut here. All right, so that's cut to make. I'm gonna hold that in place and make the cut on this side, because remember we need single pages. Well, they don't have to be. It would still work if you didn't cut this end off, but I'm gonna cut it off. Now I need to make some holes for the jump rings, and before I do, I'm just gonna mark myself where I want the holes. Here we go. I'm just gonna do 5 holes. Use your tool. I might use my crocodile. Oh, before I do that, I need a cover. So you can see here I used offcuts of leather, and here I just used offcuts of scrapbook paper. So for this one, I have something on my desk. Maybe I can use this. Here we go. I've got 2 pieces that are the same size as my little booklet here. So I have one front cover and a back cover, and I'm just going to do it like this because I've marked the holes at the front. Position everything beautifully, and now I'm going to go and punch the holes. All right, perfect. Holes are punched. I'm going to get my front cover, put it to the front, and then I'll get my jump rings and start attaching one by one. And here we have it, such a professional looking little mini booklet, no binding machine needed. And they're really cute, aren't they? You can keep this in your wallet, in your handbag. You can pop your passwords in here. Probably not, the best idea to keep your passwords in your wallet, but this is just throwing out some ideas on how you can use these little guys. You can make them just because. You can pop them in Happy Mail and hang them on journals, pop them inside pockets in journals. There's lots of different things or different ways that you can use them. And they're really easy to make. All right, we're ready to move on to idea number 5, which is mini tag booklets. So these are, as you can see, made in shape of a tag. They don't have to be. They can just be something like this. So all we're doing, it's not horizontal, it's vertical. We have a jump ring up the top. You don't have to have a jump ring up the top. Let's do one real quick. I really like the look of this one here, which is long and narrow, and then it has these cascading little ends. So I just grabbed 4 pieces of scrap pieces of paper. We're going to fold it in half. It's really, doesn't really need a demonstration, but I'm doing it anyway. Make a hole up the top. I'm going to add an eyelet here. You don't have to add an eyelet, but the eyelet actually keeps the little booklet closed up the top, if that makes sense. So that's why I like to use the eyelet. All right, there it is. And now I'm just going to maybe just play around with how this looks. It looks good from the front. Look at this. Now we're making it into a little tag shape. So I'm going to give it little shoulders. Ink some edges, and then as you see in these ones here, you can add some stickers. You can add these bulb pins up the top. If you want to hang them on the side of the journal, I think that would also be nice. You can perhaps attach it to the cover, maybe, you can attach it to the side here so it peeks out. But what I'm going to do with this one, since I have this on my desk, I'm just going to give it a little tag topper. And here we go. I do like the look of this one as well. Maybe it needs a little something. There we go. Now it's done. It's just a little sticker popped down in the middle, and there we have it. I just want to show you this one. How cool does this one look? It's just a little booklet with leftover watercolor paper. Oh, different types of paper in there, all tea dyed. Such a cool way to use up all the scraps. But it is very addictive too. All right, idea number 6. Are these mini wraparound journals or little booklets, books. And we're not only using our scraps of paper, but we're using our scraps of fabric and all sorts of materials that you have on hand. So I don't think I'm going to do a demonstration of this idea because it's pretty explanatory, but I'll show you what I've done. Okay, so this one here, just a strip of leftover leather. And again, I had these from cutting down pages for a smaller journal. So I had these left over. I bound it into the book using the 3-hole pamphlet stitch. I added some beads here down the bottom and a little closure here with the eyelet. And this is why I'm calling them wraparound little journals, because obviously wrap around. Okay, so that's that one. And then this one here, done in exactly the same way. I used whatever paper I had. I had red paper, so I use it. Perhaps it doesn't go with the brown, but it's fine. And then we have little offcuts of fabric. I had these little pieces and I just pretty much just bound a little booklet into the fabric, and these edges are all fraying. I didn't do any sewing, none of that stuff. I just bound it in. I didn't even use a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. I only did 2 holes, and then I tied a knot on the inside. So just 2 holes and tied a knot on the inside, and I attached this little closure. I just popped it through there so it's not going anywhere. And then you just play around, like how small do you want to go? You know, patience may not be your virtue, so you stick with the larger ones. Totally up to you, but it's just a little idea to play around with. And I love the look of these little books. I just think they just look so much fun, and they're really easy to make, you know, nothing too complicated. You just get your strips of paper out, and now you've got all of these ideas, more to come. And the size of your strips and your patience levels will dictate which project you want to make. You can make one of each, or you can, whatever the muse dictates. Okay, let's move on. Idea number 7 is booklets on a chain. So you will see different things that I've already shown you, like using stickers and using little, make it happen. Dreams do come true. You can write your dreams. But my idea for using this particular thing is to have them as part of tassels. I don't really have a better example to show you. So I'm just going to show you this. So for example, here I have this tassel on the spine, and then I could, let's go with this one. I could attach this to the spine and then have this as part of the tassel on my journal cover. So something like this, right? Or for this one, I made this journal many years ago, but I could attach it to, there's a whole lot of stuff happening here. There's a paper clip there, there's a tassel here. I could attach it to the tassel here. I could attach it to the binding there, and then again, obviously might be a little bit too long, probably doesn't go with this journal, but you get the idea. It can be attached to the spine. It can be, taken on and off. So if you have your daily journal, let's say your handmade journal, and you have one of these, and these are your goals, you obviously are not going to be going into your goals every day, even though you should. They say you should review your goals every single day. But anyway, you have your goals with your journal. When you want to have a look at your goals or add some more, you just take it off, or not, you can make it work. You can make it work on there. It's that little. So, and then you use whatever you have to make them. Like if you have something like this, and then you can have this type of a thing, whatever you have. You can have anything that you can, make a little loop so that it can be attached to something. They can also be attached to your handbag, maybe something like this. These are just ideas. And I just love. I actually love this look. I don't know if I'm going to leave it on there, but nice little conversation starter too. All right, moving along. Idea number 8 is Matchbook. I only have one to show you. It's similar to the wraparound method, but again, we're using slightly larger offcuts. Narrow pieces like this, you don't really want to throw it away. You can do something with it. This is kind of what you can do. You have your little signature there, you have another offcut piece of paper, and then you bind. I used the 3-hole pamphlet stitch binding, you can see here, and then that's it. Really simple. This is a matchbook. It's just kind of similar to how old matches used to kind of come in a box like this. You open it up and then you have all of your matches there, which is why it's called a matchbook, but really simple. I don't think we need to demonstrate this one. You bind your signature in, you leave the end a bit longer, you decide where you want it to end. Mine came like all the way up to here, chop that down, and then in order to keep it closed, you can have a bit of elastic here, you can have ribbon, stretchy lace, or you can have a closure like this, which is just actually a paint chip sample left over from my previous video on using all the paint chip samples that you might have in your home. I'll link that video if you want to have a look. And I just glued one half of the circle down so the other half stays open to keep, to create a notch for the closure. And that's that one. Easy peasy. Idea number 9 is, I admit, a little bit more complicated, and we're using kettle stitch binding to create these booklets. I think I will have to do a separate video on just kettle stitch binding, like a separate full tutorial. Let me know if that's something that you're interested in. But for this idea, we're using, again, our offcuts, of course, and it helps if they are uniform pieces like this, but they don't have to be. It can be done in junk journal style, where you have all different types of papers and sizes and all of that. And then you create your signatures. This one here has 5 individual signatures, and this one has 3. And what I love about these booklets is that wherever you open them, they will always lay flat. So it's easier to work on, and it just helps, especially if it's such a small little booklet. It helps when it lays flat when you open it. But yes, this is something that I will have to do a separate tutorial on if there is enough interest to do the kettle binding. It's quite easy once you get the hang of it, and I would break it down in, simple steps, and then you can easily follow and create a beauty like this. Idea number 10 is, I'm calling it a money wad, because that's what it reminds me of, and also because I happen to have these stickers, which are money stickers. But again, it doesn't have to be. We can make something cute like this. I used a little Tim Holtz paperclip here. So if you're going to use a paperclip, oh, I just ruined it, you see. That's all right, easily fixed. Which demonstrates what I was about to say. If you're going to use a paperclip, your booklet has to be quite thin. You can't use a paperclip on something like this. It's just not gonna, it can't possibly fit. So here I'm using a bulldog clip. Reminds me of, I don't know, not that I ever had a wad of money that I had to paperclip together, or bulldog clip. But it's just a little booklet, and I used just 2 holes here to bind. Pop my thread through and then tie a knot on the inside, and there's a little booklet. Just needs a little sticker at the front and something to hold it closed, and then maybe add a little charm on the spine, like this one says handmade, and there's a little quick, very quick little booklet. If you have a mini little box like this is just from a some stickers that I purchased. And then you can do something like this, maybe you can do a combination of all the things that I've shown you before. You pop it into the box, you make the box pretty. I don't know, I'm just grabbing stuff off the table, maybe a little bow, and it can be a cute little gift for someone. Maybe pop some money in there as well, maybe put some coins in there. You can do themed little booklets like goals, fitness goals, gift ideas, whatever crosses your mind, whatever you can think of. And the last idea I wanted to show you is this one here, where you incorporate a closure together with the binding. So again, using the offcuts, we make little booklets, you make a little signature. You don't need a cover, anything like that. It's just, you see, little offcuts, junk journal style, all different types. There's even some, what's this, vellum, maybe even baking paper this might be, I'm not sure. And I bound it using a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, and then you just attach a little closure. I'm going to show you how I did this. So I've taken some offcuts here and did the thing, I'm going to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. So we'll split this up so you don't have to go look for a tutorial if you don't know how to do it. Hole in the middle, hole up the top, hole down the bottom, go in through the middle with your needle and your thread. I'm using this, I forgot what it's called right now, floss, some type of a floss, I think. Okay, go in through the top, out through the bottom hole, and back in through the middle hole, tighten, tie a knot, and a double knot, chop. Embroidery floss it's called. Okay, here we go, and this is what we have over here. And now for the closure. Actually, before I do the closure, I might want to put something here at the front. Maybe I'll do something like this. Okay, now I'm going to choose my closure. Maybe some twine might look nice. I'm gonna go in through here. Here we go. And then I might go back in through here from underneath. So it's kind of attached there. At this point, you might want to just do a wraparound like this and leave it there. But I like the look of the bow here at the front. So what I need to do is now bring one of these strings back to the back side of the journal. So I have this one here, and now I'm going to take this one and again going through. I mean, there's many different ways of doing this. Honestly, this is just kind of how I did it. And now you see this? It's attached there to the binding. So the closure stays attached. You don't kind of take it completely off. And then, of course, we're doing the bow, and there it is. Done. How easy and quick and simple is that? And I love how they look. Look at this. How cute. You can stack them, make them into a little gift. Look how beautiful this looks. Oh, who wouldn't love to receive a little mini gift like this? Here are some little booklets that I forgot to show. There's this one, little painty papers. This one, that's the standard one. And then these. Instead of having like a chain up the top, you can just do a little bit of twine, just like this. All right, time to recap. We have idea number 1, which is a standard little booklet, and I've made 20 of those. Idea number 2 is the little handbags, 3 of those. Idea number 3 is charms. Idea number 4 is ring-bound little booklets. Idea number 5 is the mini tag booklets. I've made 8 of those. Idea number 6 are the wraparound journals, and I've made 7 of those. Idea number 7 are booklets on a chain, and I've made 6 of those. Idea number 8 is the matchbook, and I've only made 1 of those. Idea number 9 is the Kettle stitch mini books. Idea number 10 is the money wad. I don't know what else to call it. And idea number 11 are these beautiful little journals with the closure attached permanently. I have made a total of 60 mini little booklets using only offcuts of paper and fabric and scrapbook paper and so on. And I had so much fun doing it. I did not get rid of all of my offcuts, so I will be putting some of these in my compost bin or the recycling bin, whatever. But I thoroughly enjoyed this project. I will most definitely keep coming back to it. I really love this one. This one is really standing out to me. I love them all. Please let me know what you think. Do you feel inspired? And did you make some while watching this video? Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.